morning, everyone. I have the privilege of introducing our program this morning. You're going to be privileged to hear and participate with Mindy Gibbins-Klein. She's known as the founder, neat name, of the book Midwife and Academy Press, which is a business publisher. She's the author of 4 books and has written over 100 articles, widely quoted in the media. We should all aspire to that. Her clients have written and published over 300 books, building their businesses with their books and sharing their vision to the world. We all need that also. In this presentation, Mindy shares her insights in what it takes to be a thought leader and to write and publish successful books. Help me welcome Mindy.
Hey, guess what? 55% of all adults have at least some kind of fear of heights. So that means that you, or the person sitting next to you, possibly has a small fear of heights. Now, I don't know about you, but if I had a fear of heights, I would possibly like to get over it. So what I promise, if you have a slight fear of heights, is that that will be lessened a little bit this morning. And if you don't have a fear of heights, I promise that by the end of this session you will have one. No, I mean, you will, sorry, you will learn how to climb even higher. So, you'll notice that there's a Twitter ID in the middle of the screen. I know everybody's into tweeting, and well, not everybody, but a lot of people. If you feel like tweeting about me today, good or bad, and you'll learn why later, go ahead, @MindyGK. If you don't know what Twitter is, just ignore all that last one. We weren't talking to you. So, you know, the funny thing is we're going to talk about thought leadership today. And I don't know who knows the term. Who's heard the term before? About half, less than half. Okay, so firstly, let me explain what a thought leader is in my book, and which corresponds to a lot of the industry stuff. Thought leader is somebody who is influencing others with their thinking. Thought leaders simply means they have new, creative, innovative ideas that have the potential to shift people, communities, businesses, society. So it's kind of a good thing if you want to be a thought leader. The problem is that people throw the term around and they don't always have a good definition. Oh, he's a thought leader, she's a thought leader. Oh, really? Why? Why do you say that? And there's nothing to back it up. What we need is substance, and what your clients need is for you to give them good direction. Would you agree that it's a bit of a noisy world out there? Noise, noise, noise. Email, email. If you're anything like me, just crazy. You can't even stay on top of it. You've got your own web page, you've got blogs that you want to follow. You can't even keep up with all the things that you've opted into, much less all the spam that you get. YouTube. It used to be fun to see videos. Now you can't even find the needle in the haystack. You can't even find those gems. It's just too crowded. So people actually need you to step up and stand out. This is not an option anymore. The place is very crowded with experts. Who's an ex? No, I won't ask that question. We're all experts. So really, it becomes hard now to differentiate yourself, and I believe we need to raise the bar again. And some people amongst the experts will, and have done, stand up and step up and stand out. Because if not, then it becomes noisy again, even in the speaking world. So that's what we're going through today. That's why I think it's imperative. I know we're talking about collaboration all week, and can I just clear one thing with you guys? I'm all for collaboration. And many times, there's one gig where they need one speaker, and you and 3 or 4 other speakers, possibly colleagues, will be going for that one slot. It happens. And I'm not one of these that thinks you should compete with your neighbor. But if you're the best that you can be and you've stepped up and people know what you stand for, then at least you've got the best chance at that gig. Would that be useful? That's all we're offering here. We're not saying that you're going to beat the person next to you at the next gig.
And then there's next year too.
And then there's the year after that, and this is a long-term strategy, thought leadership. So if you're with me, you'll have a fun ride. I'm going to explain what the criteria are. thought leadership is really to help move society to the next phase of its evolution. I know that sounds a big idea. You like it? You like big ideas? Superb. I personally don't believe there's any point in playing small and making little incremental changes, not when society is in the state that it's in right now. We need real thought leaders to step up and stand out. And so this morning, you have the chance to figure out if you want to take that step or the 3 or 4 steps we're talking about today. So why we need you to step up, it's obvious. People need some direction, it's crowded and noisy. The thing about stepping up, though, is that there are some benefits for you. The benefits for you are, firstly, you take that first step and you can see much more clearly. Imagine, in a crowded marketplace or room like this, if someone stepped up, and we could see them, and they could actually see above all their heads. Imagine if somebody stood up out of their chair right now. Somebody took it, this is brilliant. Somebody went, "Ooh, shall I, shan't I?" Ooh. Imagine if somebody actually stood up and they'd be able to see a whole lot more. There are some benefits there. The word leader comes from the Old English, and it means to show the way ahead. Well, how can you show the way ahead if you can't see the way ahead? You need to be able to see over the heads of everything and over all of the other things going on. You need to be able to do that. When you do that, you get another benefit. You can actually breathe. The air is a lot fresher. Imagine if somebody stood up right now, could take a deep breath, because when you step up, you are in fact breathing in air that can help you think better. And what happens when you can think better? Do you get more ideas or fewer ideas? I don't know, maybe you should try stepping up and standing up. But what you want to do is tap into that. And one of the ways to do that is to take a step up. And finally, not only can you see more clearly and breathe more easily, but other people can see you more clearly. So imagine if somebody were to step up and stand up, would they stand out? I believe they would, but I'm not sure we have any real thought leaders in this room yet. Hey, well done! First thing, you have to stand up here though, otherwise no one's standing in the back of the room. But that's a start. Thank you. In fact, can you pass this back to him? It's a special gift for taking a risk and taking the first step. Thank you.
Thank you.
The problem is, a lot of people worry about whether they're unique. A lot of people spend time comparing themselves to others, reading other people's articles and blogs and books, and watching their videos. Who in here has ever looked at stuff from other people in their industry? What happens, three things happen when you do this. One, you're spending time, precious time, looking at what other people are doing. That's time you could be spending creating. The second thing that happens is a little voice inside your head starts to say, "Oh, God, that's good. Oh, geez, it's been done. Oh, damn. Oh, God." And how does it make you feel? Better or worse? Usually worse. I'm not saying that you shouldn't look at other people's things and know what they're doing. But the feeling and the chatter are not really conducive to you coming up with your best ideas. This is some footage, some real footage from a half marathon in The Hague a couple of years ago. Now, the little guy is Haile Gebrselassie. You may remember, had a string of runs. Did anybody see this, by the way? He's just taken the lead. And so when you're ahead in your market, you've got a lead. And you do probably already have a lead in some area, in some aspect of what you're doing. He's running along, and then you see his head start to twitch. You see his head start to twitch, and he's looking, what else is going on? Where's his focus? Is it on the way ahead? No. He's thinking, who else is there? What are they doing? Where are they? How close are they to me? He's lucky he didn't trip. Kitwara gets his 7th win in a row because he takes advantage of that hesitation and someone's lost their focus and he zooms ahead, and then it's really funny. Then after he does that, you watch And Gebre Selassie, he's lost it the minute Katwara goes past. You see him thinking, you see him slow down. It's really funny, he kind of goes across the finish line like in slow motion. It's like, have it, mate. You know, do you want to do that? Do you want to say, have it, mate? Think about the top person in your industry. This person who, whose stuff that you're reading and videos you're watching. And, think about this person who's always in the media. Anybody thinking about themselves? Interesting. Not yet. Now, you have another choice. If you step up, let's pretend you've stepped all the way up and you're on the top of a mountain all alone. Kathy knows what it's like. I'm not sure if anyone else knows what it's like. But the good thing about it is, you're there, you're breathing this fresh air for a few moments until your lungs freeze. And then, if you're like most people, you'll think, wow, I've got a market to myself. Let me see what I can do. And you throw a bunch of dirt against the wall or on the ground. So it is dirt, not rabbit droppings. And you drop that dirt, and what happens? It makes an impact, about 2 centimeters wide, and that's about all. See, what people don't realize is that they have the opportunity to do a lot more when they're standing on the top of this mountain. There's loads of pure white snow. Imagine if they could pack that together, maybe with the dirt, but create a really good snowball. Craft that message, snowball, into something that will be sent out down the hill into the market. And what happens when you do that, of course, is it gathers momentum, it gets bigger, because as you write and publish and speak, and you put good stuff into the market, other people pick up on it. They start writing and publishing and speaking about you. And now you've got some critical mass, now you've got some traction, now you've got some attention. That's what thought leadership is all about, as far as I'm concerned. It's not about throwing a handful of dirt and seeing what happens. Life's too short, society needs you to do a bit more. So, I'm going to tell you a story. This is a silhouette, but it's based on Leon Arts, who's a Dutch client of mine. The whole program is customized here, don't you love it? But he's a Dutch client, and he's written a fantastic book, but he started out by wanting to reach more people. See, his background is in food. Anybody heard of Leon Arts besides Mike? Funny enough, Mike was on the panel of judges that chose Leon to win a lifetime of thought leadership strategy coaching with me. About a year and a bit ago, we chose, there was a finalist, there was 32 people, and Leon won, unanimous. Mike and 3 other judges and myself chose him because he's taken his interest in food and his interest in helping people, and he wants to spread this message. When you go to a restaurant, someone signed up for Extraordinary Ones, his scheme, they ask you at the end of your meal, sir, would you like to donate 20 cents to feed hungry children? Now you've just spent 30, 40, 100 euros at this restaurant. What are you going to say, no? So the 20 cents are all added up, and he's got a lot of restaurants and supermarkets and other food suppliers involved. Fantastic. What does he need to do? Spread the word. Does it matter? Is he unique? Is it the most unique thing you've ever heard? Who cares? Because he's doing this with the E, which is engagement. When you want to reach a lot of people and you engage with them the right way, then you can accomplish tons of things. And he has a very heartfelt message. He shares a lot of it in his book. He went to Africa. He saw firsthand what goes on. He felt, as many people do, a bit guilty about the excess in Western society, and in particular in his food-related business. He wanted to do something, and he shares that. And he also shares something else, a secret thought, because he knows that a lot of us want to give and we don't know how. And a lot of us, have a lot to give, but we're just so hesitant. We do that thing Simon was doing in the back. Oh, I want to, but I don't know if I dare. And that's fine, and that's normal. And he gets people past the barrier with something simple. You don't mind if I pick on you, do you? And he has become an authority in this area. And that's what you want to aim to be. The authority, the person that people think of. And when Leon chose to do this, he didn't say, I'm going to be the authority, but guess what? By doing it properly and reaching the right people with engagement, he's done it. And you also need something called longevity. People need to remember you for a long time. Think about it, fellow speakers. We love being on the platform. We love doing our thing. And everybody's excited and inspired and there's a buzz, and then they go out to the coffee break and then they check their messages and then the next thing happens, and how long does that feeling survive? Depends. You can only do so much. Yes, people remember how they felt. They'll remember it a lot more if you give them something to remember you by. So I'm going to explain how to achieve all these things. Reach is actually very simple. Lots of ways to reach people, as we said. But be careful, because a lot of them are absolutely saturated. Would you agree?
Yeah.
So before you produce a video, or fling an article out there, especially one that's going to auto-populate 300 sites, before you just whack some content out into the market, think about what you're doing. Think about who you're reaching. I had a really, really good brand as founder of the Book Midwife. 2008, I thought, well, there's more that can be done. There's more people I want to reach, and in particular, I wanted to reach out to the US, which is where I was born. If you were guessing, you can stop worrying about it now. I was born in America, and I really wanted to go back, see my family, empower people who were beginning to struggle. So I brought out my next book. I didn't need to. 24 Carat Bold is all about empowering people to take these bold steps. Now, what happened was I did extend my reach. I had 8 new private clients within about 10 weeks of the book coming out. I had 11 gigs in North America, including an invitation from the governor of Hawaii to do an amazing conference, the International Women's Leadership Conference, 1,000 women. It was the launch pad for tons of good stuff. Now, I'm not saying that to brag. I'm saying that because I was kind of a bit hesitant and thinking, you know, is it worth reaching out? It's always worth reaching out with engagement. So, in this case, I chose to go wider. You may choose to go deeper. When you reach out with engagement, you have to decide, am I willing to be myself? Now, think about it. Do you like dealing with corporate brands, or do you like dealing with real people? People? Yes, both. People. And everyone wants you to deal with them as if you're a real person. The real person in the brand always has to come out. The mask or the box always has to come off if you're going to be effective. What this means is, and this is very nerve-wracking for some people, is sharing some vulnerability, sharing the real you. We think we have to be so like this and like that, and actually people just want the real you. Social media has proved that, hasn't it? So what happens here, and Leon does it so well in his book, is he talks about how he cried and how he, you know, and he doesn't look like the macho man on every page, but he connects. And then through that, people act, and then he achieves his goal. Lots of people do this very well. Think of a book that you have read where the author really connected with you. Have you ever read a book and you just thought, wow, and when you move to act and do something, would you like to do that? It doesn't have to be a book. I know I've got a book background, but with everything you produce, if you're doing it as a real thought leader, you're doing it with this in mind. Can I share more? Can I, you know, am I really engaging in the way I want and in the way my clients want me to? So please always be yourself. I beg you, don't try to be something you're not. Don't try to be someone you're not. It won't work. If you want authority, you've already got it. I said it before. You are already an authority in something. What you need to figure out is, you look at your experience and your knowledge and all that stuff, and then you add in the layer that a lot of people don't always think about. Your beliefs and opinions and insights gained through that experience. Those are the things that will make people listen. Not a bunch of facts. I'm sick and tired of bullet points and lists of things and the 4 steps to whatever, even though I do it myself. I am sick of it. And I aim to do a whole lot more, and I hope you do too. Because people want this. They don't want to know just about your topic. They want to know, what is your take on the topic? What's your perspective? What did you learn? So that they can go on the journey with you and learn. Saves them time, doesn't it? So being an authority is not just about having the 10,000 hours. That really gets up my nose. In my book, I take a bit of a swipe at Gladwell. Because it's too glib and it's too simplistic. You can be an authority with 1 hour of focused thought and intention and engagement. You're saying no, or you can't believe it.
I don't agree with you.
Oh, fantastic! Because what I want you to do is not be afraid to say controversial things that create debate. I paid her for that. Yes.
I have clients that I keep getting asked my personal opinion,
Yep.
and I don't give it enough, and I realize that that's a big mistake.
Wow! Breakthrough in the room. Let's pass that to that man. Thank you so much. You know, we have these insights. Now, when you do something about it, then we'll really be excited. I'm excited now. I'm always excited. But if you tell me, if you email me and you say, this is what I did, that'll make my day. So you tell me when you act on that. Right? He's got a target on his back. And does he care?
No.
No! Do you care?
But care?
Do you care that you have a target on your back?
That's what they want.
Right. I mean, it's not creating argument for argument's sake. Please don't polarize people or be controversial just for the sake of it. But if there's something that you believe very strongly in, please share it with people. Because if you do so with clarity and authenticity and you're passionate about it, then people will understand. You're doing it respectfully. A guy who did this really well is a client of mine called Steve. He had 28 years as a consultant, wanted to become a speaker. Doesn't everybody want to become a speaker? Isn't it great? It's such a great profession. And he needed to be an authority. 28 years running this consulting firm, loads of consultants. And he had loads of success. And he put out a book called It's Behavior, Stupid, which was a bit of a sort of frontal attack on the leadership community, mostly in the UK where he works. One of the guys at a high street bank read his book and saw that Steve was giving from a caring place, but he was saying, hey leaders, often it's your fault. You create the climate. You fix it. And he was a bit confrontational, but he didn't just leave it there. He showed ways of fixing it. He was caring and engaging. And he has got the experience. And so he became an authority. It's Behavior Stupid is a really great example. Oh, by the way, the bank guy that called him, he said, I'm sorry I haven't returned your calls for 18 months, but we need to talk. And they put together $1 million deal. Good? Would you like that? You can have that. You need to put something out there that's going to make people pay attention, because it's a noisy world out there. So, who is a black sheep, or blue sheep, as we've got on the screen? Who's a black sheep in here and proud? All right, we can all be black sheep, or not. But if you feel like a black sheep and you're not expressing it, you've got my permission. Go out there, create debate, and some people will love you. And some people, and do we care? Well, we do. Now, being honest, we do, but we find ways of coping. And the $1 million contracts really help. So, you know, be bold and stand out, because that is really the only way. And remember, people can see you. Imagine if someone were to stand up right now and we could see them clearly. We would see that they're the thought leader in this room.
All right.
Woo!
So what I'm getting from this is I should embrace my inner black sheep.
Embrace your inner black sheep, buddy. We're on the same page. Speaking of pages, I would like you to understand that being present in someone's mind is a bit of a strategy. It's not hit or miss, it's not throwing some dirt on the ground. If you do these 3 things properly, if you have the right reach to the right people and you figure out what makes sense, not trying to embrace the whole world, engaging the way they want to be engaged, taking off the mask or the box, being a real person, being vulnerable, sharing your weaknesses and your stories because they help others, and because you see something, and sharing something slightly controversial if you need to, then you will be remembered. And it helps to have some products. I happen to work in the book business. I believe that a good quality book in print trumps everything else in the credibility stakes. That's my belief. You know, there's millions of videos, and there's millions of this, and there's millions of that. And when you've got the book, and Steve's book, I should have brought it, but my suitcase was over the limit. Hardback, absolutely solid, slap it on the desk, you know, have a read. The authority is there. And then if they want, after the talk, and they want a piece of you, because they do, they want to take you home with them, they want to take you to bed with them, the book, yeah? They want it, Kindle's not as much fun, but, you know, it's there. And they want to actually have that piece of you beyond the talk. So you give that to them as a reference. Rob Brown, who wrote How to Build Your Reputation, he's a fellow speaker, brilliant speaker, very engaging, does all these things right. How to Build Your Reputation is a bestseller consistently. Every entrepreneur needs it, more than my book even. And he has 64 different books, booklets, videos, audios, and the book is at the hub of the whole thing. 64 ways for people to connect with him and stay connected after he speaks. Rob's book is one of the books featured when I do this presentation. I can obviously change them, and I was thinking, you know, what do speakers really need today? My book is there, and this is a dangerous thing, because my book is there because it's a book on thought leadership. This is not saying I am a thought leader. In fact, if you like this stuff, you must never utter that phrase. So, right hand up. I swear, never to call myself a thought leader. I swear, I'm going to let my market call me a thought leader. And then you'll know. You call yourself when it's a bit cringy. I see LinkedIn profiles, you know, speaker, author, thought leader. It sets my teeth on edge. How about you? Do you like it? If I say, I'm a thought leader. Yeah, it doesn't. If you've called yourself one in the past, I apologize.
But how would you call it? May I call myself expert then? Because everybody calls it like that, but you have to be something.
I don't know. I've seen expert on LinkedIn and all the other things. I've seen guru.
Yeah.
Right? You know, there's a gray area. Just think. Just start with, I help people do this. You know, I care about entrepreneurs, or something that tells you a bit more. You don't need to call yourself a label. That's my belief. There's the 4 books I featured. I would like to finish with one question, of course, to you, which is, are you ready? And it doesn't matter if you're not, because we have lots of books and ebooks and audios and videos and things, and especially my book, which can help you get there. But if you ever want to know about thought leadership and want to explore or want to tell me about some controversial thing, please do, because this is my passion, and I believe we need to step up and stand out and raise the game. Thank you, speakers.